From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LALATE. I have your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today with breaking news, and it's all really good news generally across the board. Fourth stimulus check is the single biggest check payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel. It's a monthly check. It starts in the month of July and will continue thereafter. In this recording, we go over the fourth stimulus check update of today, how much you're going to get, when you're going to get it, what they need to do, and where and when you would get this money. It's incredible, great news across the board. But it's a day in which I have never seen 24 hours of breaking news like this. There is literally breaking news across the board. Let me go over what I'm also covering in this recording that happened in the last few hours. Minutes ago, the new unemployment numbers came out, and you're going to be surprised what they say. Second, a new ruling from a federal district court in D.C. late yesterday ruled the eviction moratorium is unlawful. I'll have the implication for you in this recording. Then, Social Security says if you've not gotten a stimulus check, you need to file a tax return immediately. Also, surprising across the board is the Department of Labor orders states to return unemployment benefits to you immediately. I'll be explaining who gets that money and why this order was issued. And then a series of states shock America as they're now announcing they're ending FPUC earlier than ever anticipated. And finally, Dr. Walensky says that there could be a resurgence of the virus across the board in the month of May before we tailor back in the month of June. It's a big day, and there's so much happening. I'm really excited you're here. Let's get to it. The toast is toasted, the butter is buttering, and there's a lot of breaking news in this fourth stimulus check update today on Mornings LALATE. Good morning, everybody. Hope you are doing well. You've almost made it to the weekend, and away we go. In this recording, I'll have the latest update about your fourth stimulus check of 2021 today. I'll also be covering the fifth stimulus package that reforms SSI and SSDI and pays you a lot more money. But I'll also have all that breaking, developing news that impacts your stimulus. If you're new to this channel, this is LALATE, the most comprehensive financial news channel reporting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, live and tape shows every day throughout the day. No channel is like this, so welcome. And if you're an old viewer and coming back, welcome home as well. Make sure you subscribe. I don't want you to miss a single video across the board. Also like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes. And if you're new to this channel, say hi. And finally, become a member. Consider becoming a member. The link is in the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. And you're going to become a member because there's a lot of details covered in this video. Members have all the details in PDFs. Let's get to the breaking details. Fourth stimulus started the day with a shocker. It started with a shocker. You have a sense about what I'm about to say if you've been a longtime viewer. You know what every Thursday morning is? The new jobless numbers. So there's two ways these jobless numbers could help stimulus. One way is the numbers could surge and say, wait, we're hurting. We need more stimulus right away. Or the numbers could drop and we could say, hey, you need the stimulus checks to go out the door right away because you don't want the economy rebounding before you get stimulus out the door because people may get cold feet to give it to you. Well, here we go. Let me tell you what last week looked like. This was last week. Last week we improved to this was last week. Last week we were at 553, and the week before that we were at 547. So what did we do minutes ago? Minutes ago, we came in at 498,000, the lowest number of unemployment claims in the history of this channel, the lowest number since the pandemic started. Yes, we have fallen under the 500,000 threshold. The second line has a typo. It should have said estimated 527. Wall Street is expecting 527,000 claims this week, and the prior week was assessed up to 600,000 practically. So you see what happened was we fell under 500,000 new unemployment claims for the first time ever. What does this mean for fourth stimulus? Gotta get it done, people. Gotta get it done. The House members, their proposal is Tlaib and Jalapal's proposal, which is to pay you a stimulus check the first month of $2,000 and then $1,000 thereafter. Now, that's the amount. How many months? Well, they want to pay a stimulus check, the House members, for the remainder of the pandemic and then continuing for a year thereafter until the end of the crisis. Incredible, great news. So that's the House plan. Let's look at the Senate plan and compare and contrast. There's a different number of months and there's a different number of amounts. So the House members want to pay you, you just saw, a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. Senators to December. So let's say there's 4 months left of the pandemic. That would be 4 months, and then you add 1 year on top of that. 16 months of stimulus checks. House members, 6 months. But before you default to the House plan, let me show you the next data. So the House members want to pay you $1,000 after that first month. The senators, here's where the rub kicks in. Word on the street is the senators want to pay you more money per month, which gives you potentially less money over time, but a lot more money faster. Let's look at the comparison. So this is word on the street is what the senators want to give you. Word on the street is they want to give you $2,000 a month over 6 months, which would be $12,000 by December, or $1,400 a month, which would be $8,400 by December. So you see the differences. Let's consider the House plan, for example. If the House members were going to do 16 months, that would be $16,000, but it would take you 16 months to get the money. If the senators had their way, potentially they could give you $12,000 in 6 months. So less money, but a lot faster. That's how it differs. So who gets this stimulus check? How do you get it? And what is the income qualifications? Let me go over all the incredible great detail starting right now. First, you would get the money if you are made less than $75,000. This is you. If you got the third stimulus check, this is you. A married couple, $150,000 or less, this is you. Just double the checks. If there's a household, 4 or less, quadruple the checks if there's 4 in the household. And then, yes, if you're on benefits, you get it as well. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, rural benefits, veterans benefits, you get it as well. If there's a child, same amount. Adult dependent, same amount. Taken out for child support, we don't know yet. When would we get the first check? In the month of July, they represent, these are all their representations, not my representations. And starting in the month of July for the month of July, and then continuing month after month thereafter. This is the fourth stimulus package, and it takes 2 bills, 2 months, 2 steps, and the first step would start this month. That's your fourth stimulus check update for today, 2021. I'll be cutting back to more about that later in this video, but boy, folks, I have never seen a 24-hour, even a 12-hour window as the last 12 hours, where there is literally massive breaking news every left and right. Let me go over each of the breaking developments minutes ago, starting with the first one. A CDC eviction moratorium. The CDC eviction moratorium has been ruled unlawful by a federal district court. The shocking ruling came late yesterday as the national eviction moratorium, which was established under the Trump administration and continued under the Biden administration, was ruled unlawful by the U.S. District Court out of Columbia, U.S. District Court out of D.C. That shocking ruling came late yesterday from federal judge Dabney Friedrich, which ruled that it can no longer be used, at least in that jurisdiction. The press secretary and the White House scrambled upon the news, saying a recent study found that this works, but the president has yet to roll out a solution. It's leaving viewers guessing how their status is at bay. One viewer, Scott, yesterday told viewers in the comments that he went to court, showed the CDC eviction moratorium, and he's not in D.C., and the judge threw it on the floor. That was the first breaking developing news. The second breaking developing news is that Dr. Walensky yesterday for the CDC warned Americans that in the month of May, she is expecting a surge of the virus because of the variant B117. I had told you this was coming, and that is surprising across the board. Also surprising across the board was a major announcement by Social Security and IRS yesterday telling Americans that if you've not gotten your first, second, or third stimulus check, to file your 2020 tax return immediately to request that missing stimulus check. That is the means and manners in which to get it. And then the president found himself with egg on the face yesterday after the president and the vice president in the last 48 hours touted his business grants program. Yesterday, the President of the United States touted the restaurant grant program, now live at SBA, talking about how it's paid out money when it hasn't paid out money. And then in the same day, the Vice President touted the PPP program, which the President extended by executive order less than 10 days ago. It has now run out of money. So she was touting the program at the same time it had ran out of money. Meantime, the President's $5,000 EIDL grant has yet to go live. And if that was not a shocker, this one left me shocked, and I rarely get shocked. While I'm showing you a graphic of New York, it's not concerning New York. I don't have a graphic of Montana. And that's what's going on in Montana. Montana's Republican Governor, Greg Gianforte, announced yesterday that he is stopping FPUC. What? Yes. So FPUC is that add-on that goes on top of your UI and PUA of $300 a week. But as most viewers may not know, states have to apply to get it. He announced yesterday his state is not going to apply to and is not going to offer its citizens it anymore. What is the logic behind this? He says people are getting lazy and not getting back to work. He wants to stop offering it. He wants people to get back to work. And if you think that that is an anomaly, reports today say it's not. The reports today say that other states across the board that have Republican-led governors are set to announce the same thing as well. FPUC is set to expire in September. But what's surprising across the board is that these states could suddenly shock households across the board by announcing the end of FPUC months earlier because the states don't want to offer it. We have no clarity as to which states are coming back with that surprising news across the board. And then, well, this one was a surprise. The Department of Labor has announced that it's returning money to you. What? Yes. So the Department of Labor yesterday ruled that states' unemployment departments must send back money to unemployment recipients. Let me explain who this is and what this money's for and when you're going to get it. If you received unemployment benefits anytime between 2020 and 2021, you may have been contacted by your state's unemployment department to return what's called overpaid benefits back to your state, and you may have returned those unemployed benefits. This is in the case of when the states made mistakes themselves, not you, the states, and they overpaid you benefits and told you to immediately return the benefits. Well, the Department of Labor yesterday ruled that unlawful and ordered the states to immediately return the money back to you. That it was not your fault, that you received the money and it's your money, and the states must return the money back to you. Sadly, the memo from the Department of Labor indicates that it could take up to a year to receive this money. There's no more further guidance on that subject just yet. Wow. I'm exhausted. Are you exhausted? I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted trying to remember all that. And I'm exhausted just, it's I feel like I've been sideswiped. I don't know about you. Return the money that I returned, that you returned, and we're stopping things early that aren't supposed to stop. Lord, in just what, 12 hours? What happened? It feels like a lot of Tabasco sauce was thrown everywhere. Oh, okay, so that's that. Meantime, let's settle in and get excited for the big money that's landing this week in some people's bank accounts. So let me go over the big money that's landing this week, next week, and from May, June, all the way up to when that fourth stimulus hits. Let me go over that money right now. So some viewers have been asking me, is there a stimulus check in the month of May or a stimulus check in the month of June? There is not. But is there stimulus money that's landing in those months? Absolutely. So we're going to go over all that great stuff right now. First, we're going to go over the money that I told you back in January, old January. I said, guess what? When third stimulus becomes law, you're going to get about anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 if you qualify for all this money. Guess what? That money's now landing. It is rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, more homeowners utilities, and then the extension of SNAP, which continues all the way to December. Incredible, great news. So let me go over that right now. The rent, the utilities for renters, the homeowners mortgage assistance, and the homeowners utilities assistance is now landing this week from the federal government from the third stimulus package check. I know that it was passed weeks ago, months ago, but it's just landing now. And while you may have reached out to your local jurisdiction, they said, we ran out of money. They ran out of second stimulus money. This is the new wave of money. So go get it. How much money can you get? For renters, it's about 4 to 6 months of rent. So it's about $5,000. It's great news. And the money for utilities, it's a couple $100, a couple $1,000. It's incredible, great news. And then the SNAP, more about that in a second. But where do you get this money for rent? 6 possible locations. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. Reach out to them and ask them about rent assistance because of COVID under the Biden stimulus, American Recovery Act. There you go. Now, if you reach out to them and you hear back and you don't think you qualify, then reach out to the nonprofits because they have lower thresholds and totally different eligibility criteria. They are, got that pen and paper ready? United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul. If anything in this video ever goes by you too fast, you can always replay it by pulling the toggle on the bottom of the screen to replay it. It's always taped after it's live. All right, so that is the rent. And if you're having problems finding the rent, reach out to the volunteers. They're at the community page, news.lalate.com/community, which is in the pinned comment and also in the description to this video. And they're also covered in the commercial break coming up. All right, so also SNAP. SNAP has been the big success, folks. The big success. A family of 4 in Hawaii would normally get $1,400 a month, but under the programs of all these stimulus packages, Trump and Biden have now extended SNAP to have a 15% increase over 12 months to this December. So that family of 4 in Hawaii, over 1 year, $16,000. Incredible. Incredible. Here's what you need to know is that if the federal government is picking up the bill for your food, then suddenly you have that extra money available to pay for the repair of the truck in the driveway or your daughter's dental appointment. It's incredible, great news. So go get it. It's Department of Agriculture. Meantime, there's a lot of other money landing, and I have all that other exciting money coming up after the commercial break. I'll be back in 60 seconds, but here is a little bit about that community page and the volunteers who can help you get that money. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Mornings LALATE. If you're tuning in live, thank you for joining me. It's a great morning, and I'm so glad you are here. If you're watching it taped later, welcome as well. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. This is LALATE, the 24-hour financial news channel, the only one of its kind, reporting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, from Wall Street to Main Street, covering all the subjects possible. And guess what? Guess what? Surprise, this channel is adding new programming shows in the next day or two. So I want you to subscribe so you don't miss any of those new shows. All your existing programming stays where it is, but I'm adding new shows to the block as well. So make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. Let's try to get 2,000-3,000 likes. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. It's important to become a member because, boy, 2 days ago, the press secretary didn't even know what's in the fifth stimulus package, and you actually have the provision. It shows you what's in there. It shows you she was a look amused. During the commercial break, one viewer said, the $1,700 for financial aid. I reached out to my financial advisor. She didn't know anything about it. I don't know what to say. You know, they are the ones that provide it. So if they don't know, you're going to have to research her or tell her to research it or him to research it, or you're going to have to do the research and show it back to them. If you are a member, you have the actual bill that has the provision in there. So there we go. Another viewer said, I have not still gotten my third stimulus check. What's important to know, and I'm glad that viewer dropped that comment, is the following. I've had a lot of viewers who have followed my advice for what IRS and Treasury said, and let me go over that breaking developing detail. Late yesterday, IRS and Treasury said that if you have missing a first, second, or third stimulus check, file your tax return immediately. File your tax return immediately and request that missing stimulus check. Now, some of you have gotten that message and have done it. Here's what I want you to know as an update. It generally takes about 2 months to get it after you file it. So there's two things I want you to know. First, some of you are getting IRS representatives on the phone saying it takes a year to get the stimulus check. It's not true. They may have a CY, that they have to say 1 year. It doesn't take a year to get the stimulus check after you file the tax return. The second one is that I have some viewers that are just, there was one viewer on Twitter who said, let's tweet Treasury and push them to bring back the non-filer filing form. No, you don't push Treasury to do things by tweet. Because when they say to file a tax return, you file the tax return and request the missing stimulus check. You don't push them to change their policy when they say this is the way you get the money. So that's important. All right, let's cut to the other big money that's going live this week. Well, SNAP is just absolutely incredible. And SNAP, you reach out to Department of Agriculture, Family Affairs in Hawaii, now will get $16,000 over a year. It's incredibly important. In addition to SNAP, in addition to rent and utilities, which brings you to nearly $15,000, there's a lot of other money now going live. Let me go over each of them one at a time. Hopefully I don't forget any of them. The unemployment money is coming back this week. Now, let me explain what is the money, who is getting it, and who is not getting it, and what you need to know. There's a lot of YouTubers who unfortunately have delivered really intentionally incorrect videos to make people think they're getting automatic checks just by putting their feet up on the chair. And they sadly are getting set up to fail because there is no such automatic check. So let me explain what you need to do to get this money that is actually yours. First, if you did file a 2020 tax return and paid federal taxes on your first $10,200 of unemployment to the federal government, they will return that portion of the tax bill that was paid for the unemployment benefits to you starting this week if you are a single filer. That's called phase one. If you're a joint filer like husband and wife, they're not doing that till later this month. So let me give you an example of who that is. You're a single filer and you made $9,000 of unemployment last year, for example. You paid a total tax bill of $5,000, for example, of which $1,000 of it was taxes on the unemployment. They're sending you back the $1,000. That's the amount that they're sending you back. Now, there are two other groups of people that I need to go over. The first group is you got your unemployment benefits in 2020 and took out for federal taxes each week. What do you need to do? You need to not keep your feet on the chair and think you're getting an automatic check, because you are absolutely not. You need to file a 2020 tax return and request the money that you took out for federal taxes every week from your unemployment benefits. Request that money returned to you on your 2020 tax return, and that's due in a couple days. Finally, the last group is the easiest group. The easiest group. You did not take out for federal taxes. You haven't filed your 2020 return yet. Guess what? When you file your 2020 return, do not pay taxes on your first $10,200, because that's the rule. Ultimately, I'm not a tax preparer. You need to go to a tax preparer for tax advice. That is that exciting news. Then we turn to the parents and the children. So the parents of the children, your exciting news heats up in just a few days from now. Why? Because you got a deadline as well. Here again is where people think that they can keep their feet on the chair and they're going to get an automatic check. It's not true for a lot of you. You need to do something, and that deadline to do something is just days away. So let's go over it. $3,600 will be paid to children, to a child of a parent if that child is 5 or newborn, or $3,000 if the child is 17 to 6 over 12 months starting the month of July. Now, here's the eligibility criteria. 2, you made less than $75,000 and the IRS knows about the child. Usually the first criterion is not a problem. It's the second one that's a problem. I have identified not 1, but 3 cases in which you have to do something to get the money. Yeah, and if you don't do it, you're not getting Zippo. And guess what? If you wait to July, you're going to be out of luck, Charlie. Sorry, Charlie. Because by July, you will not be getting anything, because you were supposed to do it in May. Now, so let me go over the 3 scenarios. 1, you never file tax returns and you have a child. You're not getting a check. They don't know the child exists. You need to immediately go to a tax preparer and file a 2020 tax return listing that child as a dependent ASAP. Number 2, you do file tax returns, but you haven't been listing the child as a dependent. For whatever reason, the child was newly born or something has happened, you need to go to a tax preparer right away and file a tax return listing that child as a dependent. And the third scenario is a very peculiar scenario, but I think it's going to happen. You made a lot of money in 2019, but you took a hit in 2020 and you have a child. You qualify for the money based upon your 2020 earnings, but you haven't filed the 2020 tax return yet. Aha. IRS is not going to send you a check because they only have your 2019 tax return, which shows you made too much money. You don't qualify for it. Get the 2020 tax return on file. They go off the most recent tax return. So here's an example. Let's say you made $250,000 in 2019 and you have a child. They're not paying you any money. But your 2020 tax return, you only made $50,000. They are paying you the money. So get that 2020 tax return on file, because they don't know you qualify for the money. And there you go. What a big day it is. Let's cut back now to 5th stimulus. But first, let me go over a little bit about 4th stimulus first. 4th stimulus is the biggest payout you're ever going to see in the history of this channel. And 4th stimulus has a speed issue. And the speed issue is those monthly stimulus checks. You want those to go out as quickly as possible. And certainly in light of the economic data, which you saw at the top of this recording, the new jobless numbers. But 5th stimulus heats up this fall, and it has a lot of incredible relief for you. 5th stimulus is following like 4th stimulus because it goes by recon, and because it will have an add-on. This add-on will be the SSI and SSDI reform. The Democrats will add the SSI reform in there. I'm going to explain it to you right now. First, it will increase your benefits limits. Second, it will add the asset limits. Third, it will tie your benefits to inflation. And then it'll remove the income exclusion, and then they'll remove the marriage penalty. Let me go over all those details with you quickly right now. 5th stimulus check updated 2021. Here we go. First, who is this? It's you. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad Benefits, Veterans Benefits, SSA, Social Security, Survivor Benefits, all of you. And even if you have multiple benefits, all of those as well. What are you going to do? First, they're going to raise your benefits up to a big new number. That's going to be a big new number. Second, they're going to tie your benefits to a new benchmark. That's inflation. That inflationary benchmark is great because if inflation goes through the roof, your benefits will go through the roof. Third, they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1984 law that says some of you can't keep more than $3,000 on hand. They're going to cut it out. Next, they're going to remove the income cap, which dates back to a 1962 law that says you can't work up to a certain threshold and stay on benefits. They're going to throw that out and start anew. Whether it's $1,000 or $2,000 a month, they'll allow you to work and keep those benefits and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty. They're going to remove the marriage penalty. Either you're currently suffering from the marriage penalty now, or you see it looming, and because you're considering getting married, they're going to get rid of it permanently for everyone across the board. So when would this hit? Fifth stimulus is September. It's a recon. It's a 2-month bill, 2-step process, two bills, 2-step process, and 2 months, and would be done around November is when you would likely see the benefits in your account. Now, here's what you need to know. The 2-step process of fifth stimulus mirrors the fourth stimulus check updated 2021 at the front of this recording. So fourth stimulus, monthly stimulus checks, takes 2 months to get it done, and the add-on is the stimulus checks. Fifth stimulus check process is a 2-month process, and they add the SSI reform in there. And guess what? If you remember this channel, you already know that fifth stimulus has a lot of other items in there for single people, for hazard pay, for seniors, for medical recipients, and for single people. It's not just for parents and kids, the fifth stimulus. And with that, you are up to date on your fourth stimulus check of 2021 today. That's your fifth stimulus check update of 2021 today, and your third stimulus check update of 2021 today. The SBA EIDL grant of $5,000 has not gone live. The PPP grant is now out of money. The shuttered venue grant is now live at sba.gov, and the restaurant grant is now live as well at sba.gov. And what a day it has been. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe. We're rolling out some new shows, potentially as early as today, so I don't want you to miss those new shows. If you're a subscriber, you'll get a message as soon as a new show is going, either live or taped. Also, like this video. 2,000-3,000 likes. Help this video rank number 1 in the rankings, especially if it's helpful for you. And finally, consider becoming a member. Members get all the PDFs of what's in the fifth stimulus, what's in the fourth stimulus, what's in the third stimulus, before anyone else. Consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and also in the pinned comment. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful morning. I'll see you later. And thank you for joining me on Mornings LALATE. I'll see you in just a bit.